Good afternoon, I'm Milton Walker with the Midday News. Special welcome if you're watching on onespotmedia.com. It's day 4 of the Grace Asa Boys and Girls Championships being held at the National Stadium, and we join our sports team at Independence Park for the latest on champs. Jordan?
Thank you very much. It's day 4 here from the Issa Grace Kennedy Boys and Girls Championships for 2019, and they're currently on a break, so you'll see no action going on behind me. Only one final has been contested in the morning session here on day 4, and that's the girls' javelin throw open, won by Ashley Duffus of St. Catherine, 40.79 meters. Her distance, the silver went to Talia Wilson, Heidel, 38.47, and the bronze going to Latavia Galloway of St. Jago, 37.22. Also this morning, the sprint hurdles semi-finals for all classes. All the major contenders through with little fuss. Deja Russell did come out the first time we're seeing him for these championships, qualified second from his heat, 13.60 for him, and Brighton Senior winning that in a 13.59. One more record has been broken at these championships. One record so far on a day 4. That's the Class 2 boys triple jump, and that was broken by Luke Brown, 15.34 meters, and that was just the preliminary. So that brings the tally to 5 records so far for the championships. The point standings on the boys' side after 7 finals, KC leads with 64 points, just one more than Calabar in second on 63, and JC is in third with 40 points. On the girls' side, after 6 finals, Edwin Allen, the defending champions, they lead with 43 points. In second, Raciz with 30, and in third, Heidel with 20 points. We're going to have lots of finals coming up in the afternoon session. It's going to get going with the discus throw for Class 2 girls at 1:05, and then we're going to have the long jump Class 3 final at 1:10 p.m. and the 400 meters for Class 3 girls. That's semi-finals that gets going at 1:35. Of course, the 100 meters semis and the finals set to excite later on this evening. You're going to want to join us on TVJSN, TVJ, and onespotmedia.com and listen to us on radio, and we'll bring you all the action here from the championships. For now, it's back to you.
Jordan, thank you. The Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority, the JCAA, has again been thrown in the spotlight, with more questions being raised about its overall responsibility in the November 10, 2016 plane crash in Greenwich Town, St. Andrew, which claimed 3 lives. The spotlight has been shone on the JCAA following the publication of a damning report into that crash. We have more in this report.
Vice President of Technology and Innovation at the Caribbean Maritime University, Professor Noel Brown, has concluded that the issue of whether criminal sanctions have arisen now falls at the feet of the authority. A 60-page report on the probe into the fatal crash includes damning findings. Among other things, it concluded that inadequate maintenance of a plane's engine, mechanical deficiencies, along with pilot error, were contributing factors. Investigators also found breaches on the part of the Caribbean Aviation Training Center, which operated the plane. Among the questions which have arisen is whether the criminal law is applicable in this situation in relation to the plane's status and the contribution to the death of the 3 passengers. Professor Brown addressed the issue yesterday while speaking on RJR's Beyond the Headlines.
I'm thinking that the report is out. I'm not sure if the report didn't say, it stopped short of saying anyone is criminally liable for anything, but that should be a question that should be answered by the JCAA. A lot of these things would still fall under the remit of the JCAA.
Professor Brown indicated that even in this case, where the operators of the aircraft are known, the JCAA's role cannot be overlooked.
We know who the operators of the aircraft, who is the operator of the aircraft, right? So if someone has to be held responsible, we know who, will be held responsible. Because they are the operators. Yes, JCAA, as the regulator, still has some responsibility in everything that happened.
Shane Masters, TVJ News.
For the second time in 24 hours, there has been a double killing in St. James. Gunmen shot and killed 2 construction workers on Barnett Street shortly after 5 o'clock yesterday evening. Residents told TVJ News that they suddenly heard a series of gunshots which forced them to run for cover. It happened 9 hours after 2 other persons were fatally shot and 3 injured in Rose Heights, St. James. The police have identified 3 suspects in the Rose Heights shooting, although their identities have not been released. The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, is to rule on whether criminal charges are to be laid in relation to the failure of O'Brien's International Car Sales and Rentals to supply pre-owned cars and pickups to the Jamaica Constabulary Force. Detectives from the Counter-Terrorism and Organised Investigation Branch, CTOC, have submitted the file to the DPP for ruling. DPP Paula Llewellyn confirmed to our news centre that her office has received the file and is now reviewing it. The contract was issued to O'Brien's in 2016. The matter went to mediation after O'Brien's failed to fulfill the contract despite being paid more than $230 million. On March 5, National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang told Parliament's Standing Finance Committee that the operator would be arrested for fraud if the vehicles were not handed over by next week. With less than a week for the by-elections in Portland Eastern, the campaign trail has begun to take on another tone. In a video obtained by our news team, Member of Parliament for Portland East Western, Darrell Vaz, can be heard giving a strong warning to some constituents.
I can't tell you what to be or what not to be. Me not God, so I can't tell you who to support and who not to support. But I can tell you, say in this election, because my wife involved in it. So we not talk about party, we are talk about my wife. And if you can't give my wife a chance after where me and you have come from, then me and you have to decide, say, we are friends still, but I can stay that way. Yeah, all right. When we see you. How you see me,
And as things continue to heat up in East Portland, the Maroon community in the constituency has listed a number of issues they want to be addressed going forward. Speaking with TVJ News, they said in addition to fixing water and road problems, they're also pushing for ecotourism. TVJ Shamela Pullen reports.
Although guided by their own laws, the Maroons in Moortown in the Rio Grande Valley, East Portland, will be among the electorate to cast ballots in the Portland Eastern by-election on April 4.
The Maroon communities are basically the smaller part of the East Portland community, right? And everybody who has a vote and feel like going out and vote, they are free to go out and vote. I don't know that we are looking at it no way different from any other by-election.
The thing is based on, is like help, because the next 5 years, my daughter will be going to like high school. And I cannot vote for a party, for example, like say no, I'm going to the benefits.
Of the approximately 5,000 Maroons living in the community, most complain about the lack of proper roads and adequate water.
My main concern is to get water in my home. Get water up into the community where I live, in Barry Hill. There are pipes run all around, but we are not getting any water. Efforts have been made, but it is not sufficient.
The road them sometimes have breakaway that can fix before it gets worse, because up where my mother lives now, I see a part where a truck wheel is going like to the edges. And if that not fixed like now, and like if you create accident, you must start when come like fix it, understand?
But that's not all. According to Colonel of the Moortown Maroons, Wallace Sterling, they want to move towards developing ecotourism.
We have a very beautiful waterfall here which people come by without much, so we are trying to get some fundings for that, and which I know we will. And then we are looking at the recreation of original Maroon village, what we consider an original Maroon village, right? Because it's going to be putting up huts and stuff like that, and for accommodations and for exhibition purposes and stuff like that, and performance area.
The by-election will be contested between Anne-Marie Vaz of the Jamaica Labour Party and Damian Crawford of the People's National Party. The seat became vacant after the former MP, Dr. Linvale Bloomfield, was murdered at his home last month. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Milton Walker. Join us at 7 for Primetime News on behalf of the news, sports and production teams. Good afternoon.